2 centuries. That's how long this hatch stayed sealed, untouched, undocumented, and deliberately hidden. Historians believed it was destroyed. Treasure hunters said it never existed. But after 220 years, Lagina finally broke it open on Oak Island, and what came out stunned everyone on sight. This wasn't loose wood or collapsed debris. This was a perfectly preserved hatch, locked with materials that shouldn't have survived that long, let alone stayed hidden. The moment it cracked open, the entire dig went silent. Sensors spiked. The smell of old earth rushed out. And sitting just beneath the opening was something no one was prepared to see. Evidence that this site wasn't just a money pit, but part of a much larger, carefully planned system. Before we reveal what was inside, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because this discovery changes everything. After years of hard work and thousands of hours of excavation, Oak Island still raises a new question every time. But this time, Lagina noticed something that changed the team's thinking. A parallel wall seen in a sonar image. This wall is not ordinary. Its structure is so clear and precise that it points not to natural, but to human intervention. Now the question arises, who built this wall, and why does it point to a secret passage or tunnel? A data expert named Steve is currently working on 3D modeling, which will turn this new information into a real picture of the underground. The team believes that this wall points to a period when human activity had reached greater depths in the areas around the money pit. Discussions are ongoing. Some people believe that these walls were built to hide some treasure, while others believe it is the entrance to a large chamber. Everyone has their own theory, but the goal is the same: to reach the truth. Excavation work is back in full swing at the money pit. Lagina and Craig Tester begin digging again the next morning with help from Contracting. But there's a major obstacle: water that keeps filling up. Even after reaching a depth of 65 feet, the water doesn't stop. The team continues to dig, but the question arises, is this search really an attempt to find answers to history, or a way to prolong the story of a long-running TV show? Still, some new things are sure to be found, some that may disprove old theories, or perhaps make them stronger. Oak Island is still revealing a new mystery with each layer. It's never easy to revisit an old site, but Oak Island is an exception. Over the decades, there have been repeated searches, each time with new hope, a new team, and the same old questions. Each season brings new excitement, but the dig often returns to areas that have been searched dozens of times before. Viewers tune in each time, but the answers, they're still missing. Some critics believe that if there really was some significant treasure or historical artifact here, it would have been found by now with today's modern technology. Yet the digging and shooting continue, perhaps in the hope of a discovery, perhaps to keep the story alive. The real value of Oak Island may not be what's beneath the ground, but in the stories that have been created during the search, stories of hard work, hope, and sometimes disappointment. Recently, the team from Contracting Limited discovered a new cave about 65 feet deep. The location was some distance from a key area of Oak Island. What makes it special are the wooden beams found inside it. This indicates that it may not be a natural cave, but a man-made structure. When Lagina saw this new place, he realized that what seemed like a minor obstacle till now, a water leak, could actually be the beginning of a big discovery. However, the persistent water leakage is still a big challenge, without solving which the next excavation is not possible. But the team is ready, because Oak Island always shows something that does not let them stop. With every dig, the Oak Island team moves in a new direction, and this time, their eyes are set on a possible tunnel network hidden beneath the ground. Blaine Carrick, who recently joined the team and specializes in underwater imaging, strengthened the effort. In the initial phase, they examined a cave to a depth of about 140 to 142 feet. The purpose was to find out if there were any human-made changes there. Along with this, they were looking for possible routes that may have served as an entry or exit in the past. The information that came out from this discovery was quite surprising. Several points were found in the data that indicate that there may be more than one treasure hidden under the Money Pit area. Keeping this possibility in mind, the team carried out a new excavation, which they named Aladdin's Cave, and now they are engaged in understanding the layers inside it. High-definition cameras were used for the initial investigation of the cave. The goal was clear: to see if the cave's formations were the result of human effort and to see what might be hidden inside. Each image captured by the camera would help us understand Oak Island's underground structure. For Rick and Marty Lagina, this discovery isn't just another step. It's the culmination of years of hard work and faith. Despite all the obstacles, their belief remains strong that there's something hidden beneath Oak Island that could change history. As the Oak Island team digs deeper, modern technology is becoming one of their greatest strengths. To that end, underwater imaging expert Blaine Carrick is now taking center stage. The team recently accessed a cave, and Blaine's next step is to map the entire structure of the cave using an advanced sonar scan. The purpose of this process is to clearly identify the structure inside the cave and any possible man-made parts. Rick Lagina described the initial camera inspection as crucial in this entire process. He believes that although the camera has given some indication, more depth is needed to understand the real condition of the cave. Cameras have been particularly limited in identifying objects on the cave floor. Marty Lagina furthered Rick's point, emphasizing that it is very important to know whether this cave is natural or man-made. They believe that if the alleged treasure of Oak Island is indeed linked to this cave, then this place could be the answer to historical questions that have remained unanswered for years. When signs of possible man-made structures were found in Aladdin's Cave, the team conducted a detailed sonar survey of the entire area. For this, they used state-of-the-art equipment like Echologger DASS 710, which makes it clear that this discovery is not based on mere conjecture, but on evidence and modern resources. The excavation at Oak Island has reached a point where traditional methods alone are no longer sufficient. This is where advanced technology, particularly sonar equipment such as the Echologger DASS 710, is playing a vital role. The equipment sends out high-powered radar signals that bounce off the cave walls and structures inside. Analyzing these reflected signals creates a three-dimensional 3D image of the cave. This process helps scientists determine whether the cave is natural or man-made. This technology has also allowed the team to identify potential connection points within the cave that may indicate connections to other parts of Oak Island, helping to understand the cave in a larger context. The next morning, the team assembled in a meeting area, this time to view the 3D images obtained from the sonar scans. The scene that emerged surprised everyone. An area that appeared to be a human construction, even though it was located within a natural cave. The discovery piqued the team's curiosity. It is being speculated that there may be a hidden room or tunnel within this area, covered by soil or sediment. As the image analysis progressed, discussions focused on what the purpose of the structure, if it was indeed human-made, might have been. Rick Lagina is particularly excited by the possibility that there may be other structures buried at the bottom of the cave that could reveal secrets of the past. Based on these grounds, the team decided to conduct a more in-depth, systematic, and resource-supported search of the cave to fully uncover potential historical clues to the area. The recent excavations on Oak Island have brought the team to a point where every little clue matters. Marty Lagina made it clear that there are signs inside the cave that are not usually found in natural formations. This is why the team is now considering this place as a potential archaeological site. To clarify these signs further, the team decided to do another drilling. Its purpose is to take the sonar scan further down so that a more clear picture of the internal structure of the cave can come out. It is also important to know whether this cave is alone or is connected to any other chamber or passage. There is only one purpose behind this entire effort: to understand the history of Oak Island in depth and find out if something valuable can really be hidden here. For the Lagina brothers, this is not just a discovery, but the result of years of hard work and faith, the truth hidden in the soil of Oak Island. The next decision to dig another pit was taken by the team thoughtfully, keeping in mind the time and resources. There were difficulties, but the hope of a potential discovery justified the risk. The team is fully dedicated to this mission, as each new clue brings them closer to an important answer to history. Excavation work to reach a potential tunnel under Garden Shaft is progressing rapidly. Rick and Marty Lagina are actively assisting Dumas contracting. The team has reached a depth of about 90 to 93 feet, but they have a major obstacle to overcome before they can build the final structure: a thick layer of hard clay. Marty recalls his family connection at this stage, how his grandfather worked in the mines of Michigan, and how this hard work on Oak Island connects him to that legacy. Rick and Marty now descend into the excavation site themselves, where a pneumatic jackhammer, powered by compressed air, becomes their main tool. This machine is heavy and powerful, helping to break up the compacted soil. Once the layers of soil have been broken up, Dumas' team will use a 3-ton hammer grab tool to remove the debris so the final phase of the structure can be built. The excavation at Oak Island has reached a point where the limits of both technology and labor are being felt. The heavy jackhammers used in the excavation, weighing between 60 and 70 pounds, are now becoming a hindrance. Marty Lagina explains that these machines often get stuck in the soil, which not only slows down the work, but also increases the labor manifold. In the same sequence, Rick Lagina experiences a shocking experience during the excavation. He feels something solid hitting the bottom of the spade bit. His first reaction is that perhaps they have reached the tunnel they have been waiting for. That afternoon, Rick, Scott Barlow, and Craig Tester receive confirmation from the team at Dumas Contracting Limited. The garden shaft has now been successfully taken to a depth of about 95 feet, and a tunnel about 7 feet high has been reached. The tunnel is believed to be a link to the Baby Blob, a potential location where ancient treasures or historic structures may be hidden. As the team prepares to go inside, they are hopeful that they will find some solid clues. When Rick first descends into the tunnel, he sees remnants of wood near the walls and ceiling. This indicates that there may be other man-made structures somewhere inside. The team decides to extend the tunnel a little longer, and they dig an additional 32 inches. As the dig continues, the team carefully examines the wooden logs that are placed along the tunnel path. Rick notices that the soil beneath one particular spot is hollow, which piques the team's curiosity. Excited by this clue, they decide to dig deeper. The round wooden pieces found inside the tunnel are particularly noteworthy, as they not only point to construction work, but also indicate that the passage may have connected to an older structure or room. Each new dig on Oak Island uncovers an older layer. Recently, the team has found some signs of construction that match techniques seen before in the money pit, particularly the use of round logs. Lagina remembers an old article in Reader's Digest that discussed similar structures. The similarities strengthen their belief that they are close to a major discovery. Lagina agrees and believes their 15-year search has reached a turning point. He also estimates that the team is probably only a few feet from the actual dig site where it all began. Meanwhile, Jack Begley and metal detectorist Gary Drayton have begun work on the recently acquired Lot 5 on the western side of Oak Island. Initial searches have found a stone structure that experts say may be as old as Garden Shaft. In addition, the design of the tools found there suggests that the items may be as old as 400 years, confirming that human activity on Oak Island has been going on for a long time. One of the most remarkable finds is half of a Roman coin dating to 300 BC. This single item pushes Oak Island's history back further than previously thought. They also found a large square nail from the 1700s. Gary Drayton immediately recognized its historical significance. Marty believes that Lot 5 may hold clues to the identity of the people who once built structures like the Money Pit. This new evidence suggests that the story of Oak Island is not just about treasure, but about a long-hidden past, one that is now slowly coming to light. When a new find is found at a historic site, it not only unlocks new layers of information about the place, but also provides insight into social and trade relationships of the past. While exploring Oak Island's Lot 5, Gary Drayton and Jack Begley found one such important find: an ancient lead coin with intricate engravings on it. Gary compared it to ancient Roman trade tokens once used by private business entities rather than governments. The discovery connects directly to an earlier Roman coin found at Lot 5 and raises the question, was there trade or outside activity on Oak Island centuries ago? Taking the possibility seriously, the team sent the coin for further laboratory analysis. Archaeologists will now compare the token's design and the metals used to make it to other Roman tokens to determine its authenticity and significance. After the discovery, Gary and Jack met with Lagina, Craig Tester, and archaeologist Laird Niven at the Oak Island Interpretive Center. The goal was clear: to find out what this object could add to our understanding of Oak Island's past. Laird first cleaned the coin carefully to avoid damaging its surface features and to prepare it for chemical testing. The coin was then scanned using X-ray fluorescence, XRF, a scientific technique that reveals the basic elements of an object. The entire process was overseen by Emma, the team's analytical specialist. After the scanning was complete, Emma convened the team to share the initial findings, which revealed some important clues to the coin's origins and manufacturing techniques. A lead disc-shaped coin found on Oak Island appeared normal upon initial examination, but when looked at more deeply, several complications emerged. Emma, the team's scientific analysis specialist, explained that the disc had two distinct layers, a light and a dark one. The light layer was almost entirely made of lead, with very small amounts of copper and iron. On the other hand, the dark layer contained about 41% iron and also contained copper and silicon. The presence of natural lead in both these layers indicates that the material was obtained from an old mining source. Based on this, the team conducted an X-ray diffraction (XRD) scan to know its origin so that its minerals could be accurately identified. The results of the investigation were surprising. The minerals found in this disk matched those of mines located in present-day Iran. This started discussions about possible links between Oak Island and ancient trade routes. While this match does not confirm a specific location, it does suggest that the object may have come from a geographic region that stretches from Iran to Italy, France, and Spain, a belt where minerals such as lead and iron are abundant. Emma specifically pointed to a mineral composition found along the Italian coast that closely matches this coin. This information got the team thinking. Could this object really come from Italy? And if so, what could it mean for Oak Island? Does this strengthen the idea that Oak Island may have been connected to historical networks involving organizations such as the Knights Templar? As historian Zena Halpern has suggested, sometimes finds are not as straightforward as they appear. The lead coin found on Oak Island proved just that. At first, it seemed like a simple find, but when the need to understand its composition and origins arose, the team decided to consult experts in ancient metallurgy and historical artifacts. These experts explained that lead objects were used for a variety of purposes in ancient Roman times, as trade tokens, seals, and sometimes as religious symbols. The Roman Empire was so widespread and influential that such objects have been found in many geographic areas, pointing to an extensive trade network and cultural exchange. This information reconsidered the possibility of the coin being linked to Italy on Oak Island. If the object is indeed connected to Roman trade, it could indicate that Oak Island was once part of an intercontinental trade route, possibly one in which the Knights Templar, adept at both finance and travel, may have played a role. Moreover, the link to the Roman coin found earlier in Lot 5 also led to the idea that Oak Island's history may be much older and more deeply rooted than previously thought. Clues buried in the soil of Lot 13. As the team researched the object's background and possible origins, a new understanding emerged. Events in history are often interconnected, even if they appear separate at first glance. A simple piece of lead was now leading them to a larger and more complex web of history. This new idea made the team realize that Oak Island was not just a treasure hunt, but an attempt to reread history. The search was no longer limited to just old objects. It had become part of a process that helps us understand how the shadows of past civilizations can still influence our understanding of today. Discoveries on Oak Island haven't been limited to tunnels and treasures. Ancient stone structures have also been a focus of attention. One of these is the Great Quadrilateral, a 32-foot-tall stone structure first documented in the 1990s by former island owner Fred Nolan. Fred believed the structure was hundreds of years old and may have served a specific purpose. Now, Craig Tester, Rick, and Marty Lagina, along with current landowner Tom Nolan and the rest of the exploration team, are digging deeper into the structure. This time, the team's focus is on the northeast portion of the structure. Billy is operating heavy excavation equipment, while Gary Drayton is closely examining the excavated soil, hoping to find some historical clues. During the excavation in Lot 13, the team found a few interesting items, most notably a small piece of coal. The team hopes to carbon date it to determine when the structure was built. In addition, Billy and Gary unearthed a heavy, curved metal fragment. Gary speculated that it might be part of a cannonball, as is often found at historic sites in the southeastern United States. Rick immediately took the discovery seriously, because if the speculation turned out to be correct, it could point to an ancient military presence on Oak Island. Marty also made an important observation. He noted that the arrangement of the soil and stones at the dig site seemed disorganized, as if someone had excavated here in the past or rearranged the stones to hide something specific. Excited by these new discoveries, the team decided to extend the search to the western side. Their goal was to find out if the structure extended that far. However, so far they have not found any conclusive evidence. Each discovery tells a new story, but also leaves behind many questions. The Oak Island structure still hasn't fully unraveled its mysteries, but the team is confident each clue will lead them closer to the story Fred Nolan began telling decades ago. Many discoveries have been made on Oak Island, but each excavation brings home the sense that there are many untold stories of history still buried in this land. As the excavations on the Great Quadrilateral deepened, the team began to find clues that had never been discovered before. They found a piece of clay and a small piece of glass that may date back to the 18th century. This indicates that the site may not be just a mysterious structure, but may have been part of a historic activity or ancient settlement. Most interestingly, the piece of glass was found where the land meets the sea, an area where human activity is naturally more likely. Dr. Spooner confirmed that the team had now reached the level of what Fred Nolan first called the stacked stone foundation. As the excavations progressed, each new relic strengthened the team's enthusiasm. It was this energy of discovery that kept them moving forward, with the hope that perhaps the next layer might hold some solid answers to history. Recent sonar scans inside Aladdin's cave have uncovered what appears to be a man-made entryway, showing traces of aged timber that may link directly to the money pit's original construction. At the same time, a fragment of lead recovered from the site was chemically analyzed and found to match mineral sources from Italy, pointing to possible historical trade connections between Oak Island and the Mediterranean world. These findings have revived speculation about a Knights Templar connection, though the team remains cautious, carefully testing each theory against solid evidence. As Oak Island continues to give up its secrets, the hunt is becoming less about gold and more about uncovering forgotten history. Stay tuned for more verified discoveries, in-depth reports, and analysis. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know. What role do you think the Knights Templar may have played on Oak Island?